Hi Cancer, welcome to your season and happy birthday to Cancer Sun. As I spoke about in the part 1 of the video, we have a eclipse happening, which is a rare eclipse happening on the first day of your season, a solstice solar eclipse. What a wonderful thing to have, because that is such a positive, forceful new start, and it's going to take a little bit of time to register, because the first impact of a solar eclipse, which is so powerful in our sign with the nodes involved, is just overwhelming emotions. It's just overwhelming heart intuition, just an overwhelming feeling within, which we are not able to put to words yet. But there's a knowing within you that my life is completely shifted from there on, because this is an eclipse which is happening at 0 degree of Cancer, which is defined as a point of no return. This is a turning point. This is where we redefine our life in a direction which is different, possibly, from where you have been before. This is a way of being which is completely different from what you have been so far. This is culmination of the process of what has been in making over the course of last 18 months, when we had North Node in your sign. The last 18 months, North Node has been in your sign, and it has been a process of trusting your senses, trusting your intuition, learning to bring yourself out and not getting lost in what the other people think, and just walking your path because you were born to walk that path, and pushing to some extent us in a direction which is so fated to some extent, and removing every hindrance in our path which is not letting us do that. And that had to do with changing how we relate with other peoples, changing our relationships, changing the way we express ourselves to other people in our life, our dynamics with our relationship, our partners, our co-workers, our one-on-one relationships, how we handle critics, clients, partners. That is completely revamped with this whole 18 months of cycle of North Node in your sign. And with all of that, now we are bringing all of that to home. We're bringing that to fruition. We're bringing that to completion. Cancer, we're going to have 2 new moons in your sign. A very rare thing to have. We'll have 2 new moons in your sign. One is a solar eclipse, and another is a new moon, which will happen in the middle of July. 2 new moons in your sign back to back is all about giving it all to start again. Giving it all to start again, but in a direction where you want to go, where your intuition is telling you to go, trusting your senses, your intuition, not letting other people push their rules and agenda on you, putting personal care in your identity, in your way of life, treating your life, your body in the way like a new baby. You're being reborn over here. It's like, this is your new life, and now you'll be living that. Being aware of your sensitivity and honoring that, and not letting other people convince you otherwise. Being that person within who protects others, who protects what they create, who knows when to draw the right boundary, taking the opportunity to create that boundary right now, to create a safe environment for you, nurturing you, placing yourself with people, situation where you feel safe enough to give your gifts to others, being okay to find, a new way of being, where you feel stronger, being vulnerable, where you don't feel called on as emotional if you show how sensitive you are to things that you hold close to your heart. So what's happening though, Cancer, is, as I mentioned in part 1 of the video, is that this walking your path, being your authentic self, this is leading you to a destination which is different from what you had planned before. So as I mentioned, as an example, in the part 1 of the video, the man was going for a job interview and there was a detour, and the last couple of months there have been that detour where we have seen a new way of being. And with that, what has shifted is that we are still going for a job, but it is different from what we wanted before. So the new start that is coming, and it has been in making for some time, that new start has shifted in its qualities, It has shifted in its content. So the new beginning will come, but it will come in the format different from what you had thought before. And there will be some reconsideration which will be required, some rework which will be required in your life direction over the course of next couple of weeks, because we have Mercury retrograde in your sign. So there are some more things that need to come to surface for you to make up your mind about it. There is more sharpening possibly of written communication or contract or written content, or some more discussions that need to be had, or there might be some shift in your own thinking, in your own mind, in your self expression that needs to be done for you to walk that path. There is a back and forth, a reframing, a rethinking of your life path, a revamp of your talk, a reaffirmation of who you are as a person, a shift in image, to some extent that needs to be required. So this is where we rethink our life path to some extent. And this has been in making, as I said, over the course of last 18 months. In fact, we had a retrograde in your sign. Mercury was retrograde in your sign last year as well, with the eclipses that happened last year as well. So we sort of are reliving that to some extent, but now we know more, and we are putting things to finality with this eclipse. As I said in part 1 of the video, 0-degree eclipses are about criticality. There is an urgency to making up our mind about a shift in direction, a change in allegiance. So it's possible that maybe you were working on a job or a project or a deliverable or a new start to some extent, and a detour came, because of which that new start now has become something else. And we need to imagine our life to some extent in line with that, reframe our life. And Mercury retrograde over the course of next couple of weeks, all the way till 12th of July, will help you rewrite that story, rewrite that script of life, reframing our life, revamping our talk, reaffirming who you are, shifting who you are, rewriting your words, rewriting your expression, making sure that you're bringing your inside talk outside when you express yourself to other people. Knowing yourself a little bit more so you can use that to walk the path that you were meant to. Let, you know, let let what you're thinking within yourself come out a little bit more. Let what's slowing you down be removed. Something shifts for more personal impact when Mercury goes retrograde in our sign. And again, I can't emphasize enough, this is very unique. Having Mercury retrograde in our sign happens once in 6 to 7 years. You had it for 2 years now, and then you have two new moons happening in July. One solar eclipse, which is happening on 21st of June, and then a new moon, which is happening in the middle of July. This is a extensive amount of reorientation in your life in terms of your career direction, in my view. What opportunity you want to pursue, take this opportunity to create new rules for your life, create a new safe environment for you when it comes to your career, what you're pursuing. Nurture yourself in the new career that you're going for the new direction that you're going for. Maybe you need to be someone who is able to express their softer core more to the other people. Cancer, you like to take care of people, you like to nurture people, you like to bring people to a better position when it comes to their emotional safety, security. Making people feel safe is core to a Cancer's existence. Are we using those skill sets in the direction of our life? Or are we taking the decisions on our life script on the basis of what others say? So again, that equation will be called on. Are we compromising our life direction to please anybody else? Are we shifting where we wanted to go because somebody else wants us to go there? So you will, again, in my view, relearn, if we have forgotten that, to drive your life in the direction where you need to go versus where others are asking you to go. Your heart is going to sort of drive you, and your intuition is going to drive you to a different direction compared to where others want you to go. There will be a boundary issue which will come up, in my view. And the next 3 or 4 weeks are excellent opportunity to redraw those boundaries, because Cancer as a sign with North Node over here, it sort of has been teaching us that you'll open up more to your gifts if you have a safe environment to open up to. So if your current environment, whether it's your job, it's your you know your career, or the kind of project you're involved in, it's not making you feel safe, it's not making you feel nurtured, it's not making you feel valued to some extent. In my view, you will use this direction, this retrograde of next couple of weeks till 12th of July, to reorient yourself to a new direction or to a new way of handling others. You will express what's inside you more. It will come out more. But again, as I said, I mean, when Mercury is retrograde, we have to be a little bit careful of misunderstandings. There could be a lot of misunderstandings during this time, especially in our sign. You'll find that you are trying to say your truth, but people are so sensitive they're not able to take it. Especially when Mercury is in your sign, sensitivity in communication is amped up, and people will be very touchy at this time. So you will be ready to express who you truly are, and you would want to voice it, and you have to draw the boundaries. But be a little bit careful that some of the things are, maybe they're coming out in the way you don't really want them to come out. So the self expression is getting, we are given a sort of a next leg up in our self expression, a next level of growth in our self expression. And that level of growth, as a sign for you, would involve taking other people's feeling to some extent in consideration. It doesn't mean we compromise the messaging, but the format of it, the words of it, the exact framing of the sentences, for example, we'll have to pay a little bit more attention to. But you cannot, in no circumstances, compromise what you need to say over here. You will be feeling strongly responsible for yourself over here, and you have to do that. Saturn will again move back in your house of relationships in Capricorn starting from July. Next couple of months, all the way till 17th of December, Saturn is going to be in your opposite sign, retracing the last 5 degrees of Capricorn. So you will find that there are certain leftover boundary issues when it comes to your relationships, which will come up again in the next couple of months. They will come up for final restructuring, drawing the right boundaries. Similarly, if your contracts, they need some restructuring. If you have a contract with your clients, or you have a contract with your business partner, or the contracts you have with your employer, that needs certain shifts and changes because the environment has changed, or because what you want has changed. There will be a shift in the structure and the rules and regulations of what you want out of that contract, which will happen as well during this time. And you'll find that in July, there might be a shift which will come to surface, it will come to light. A contractual obligation shift will come to light. And that's where I will again remind you, you have to do what's right by you. You'll have to honor your value, what you're getting out of a contract, what you are receiving, and not get bogged down by what the other person thinks in that. The give and take in relationships and partnerships and contracts will come into surface again. And it is sort of a test of what we have learned over the course of last 18 months. You have learned to be more direct. You have learned to be, even if I may say, confrontational. I have a Cancer child. I have a child who is a Cancer ascendant. I've seen her transform even at this tender age. I've seen her transform in the last couple of, last 18 months. But we are being asked to show that actively in our conversations, in how we face issues. Do we face them head on now? Do we stand up for ourselves? And at the same time, are we being fair in the relationships? Are we giving credit where the credit is due? But where there is an imbalance, we will be required to handle that in appropriate fashion. We will be required to sort of put a wrap around some of the relationships and partnerships which are imbalanced as well. If the relationship isn't for us, it might come for releasing as well. We'll have an eclipse in your opposite sign on 4th or 5th of July, which already got activated last year. So if there was a partnership, a contract, a relationship which has been in back and forth since last year, and it's not for you, it's not serving your life path, it is not helping you grow forward and move forward. It might come for a shift and release. It might come for change in terms. A contract might come change in terms. It could be that, the way you handle your clients, your critics, your partner, that has transformed over the course of last 18 months. So who you relate with, who you partner with, who you're married to, who you're connected with, and how you are connected with them, how you handle them, that has changed completely. So, your contracts and your relationships and the terms of those contracts and those clients will have to change because you have changed. So, the second eclipse, which will happen on 4th or 5th of July, it will highlight that need to change the contract, need to change the relationships, need to change possibly the job or the contract or the relationship or the commitment you are in. And there'll be need to release the old terms and put the new terms officially down. As I said, the eclipse that's happening in your sign right now, it's coming with a declaration, but because Mercury is retrograde, the declaration is possibly delayed to after 12th of July. So you'll find that the formalization and the documentation and the declaration and the signing off might happen after that. And it's suggested that it's done after that because there's a lot of more information that needs to come to surface. There's a lot more knowing and a lot more change and shift in how we express ourselves. This is the next level of growth in that needs to come about. So you can ask for your true worth, so you can ask for what you truly want, so you can renegotiate the terms, so you can put your foot down where it's needed, so you can project what is inside of you outside more firmly, more strongly. And then we got 6 months of fight of our life when Mars is in Aries in your house of in your house of career. So 6 months, Mars, the planet of courage and energy, will be in your house of career. That has never happened in our lifetime. It has not happened since World War II. So this is going to be the fight of our life to make it happen. After you have decided the direction, after you've decided where you're going, after you have finalized the terms, the next 6 months will be dedicated to making it happen, especially in your career. So, good luck for that, Cancer. Have an amazing season ahead. I'll try to do another video on the second eclipse that's happening on 4th or 5th of July because, again, it's a very critical eclipse for you. It's going to change your partnerships, your relationships, your contracts, your commitments to people on a one-on-one basis, how you handle your critics, how you handle your partners, how you handle your clients. And it has been in making. You have been in making over the course of last 18 months, and now it's like go live. This is the go live eclipse to some extent. So good luck for that, Cancer, and I'll see you in the next video now.